Sagittarius, Sagittarius, Sagittarius. Oh, welcome. My name is Tiffany. I am a Sagittarius, 5 planets in Sagittarius. This is the Feminine Inquisition. Welcome to my channel. We are going to do your reading for the month of July. I hope that you're well, and thank you for being here. So some dates to take note of. On June 30th, well, that's not July, is going to have a huge impact on the month of July and for several, I think it's going to be 2 years. Jupiter is entering Leo. And so Leo is a child of God and a great manifester. And so that is the wisdom that they offer the rest of the zodiac. And so today's reading will be about manifestation. I'll get into the karma cards and what we're working from and how we'll use them to guide the messages. Other dates. On the 3rd, Mercury is going to enter into Virgo. 6th is going to be the Sun entering Cancer. On the 13th, Mars is going to enter Libra. On the 11th, Venus is going to enter Virgo. What else? 23rd, Sun is going to enter Leo. 28th, Mercury is going to enter Virgo. On the 26th, we are going to have the nodes shift. The nodes being the north and the south node of the moon. And they're going to move into the Leo and Aquarius axis. And I think, no, there's a new moon in Cancer on the 14th and a full moon in Capricorn on the 29th. Those are your dates. Let's get into it. So as you can see, this is the karma deck. They're separated into planets, signs, and houses. And on the back side, there's inherent reversals. So they have been mixed, and you will see me mix them again on camera. They are separated into 3 sections: spiritual, mental, and physical. Same. So this is the conscious in blue. This is the unconscious or subconscious in red. However you want to say it so that it makes you feel good. And as you can see, there's no favorites. Subconscious and conscious has been mixed and matched all around. Okay? All right, here we go. For Sagittarius, for the month of July, last but not least, you are the last reading I am doing. I started with Earth because I always start with fire or water. And yeah, let's go. What does Sagittarius need to know for the month of July? What is at play? What is influencing them for the month of July? Interesting. For Sagittarius, for the month of July, please and thank you. I have Aries. I also have it upright, which meaning the conscious is the part that we're going to read from. Spiritually, these are the energies to meet the challenge of. Oof, you have to be bold. Spiritually, to face what it is that maybe you don't know, that you don't know, that you don't know. The unknown, right? The void, the darkness from which you can create anything. Mentally, your desires regarding. So this points into the direction of initiating the mastery of manifestation. Physical, this is resulting from the honesty and strength of. So I think that you will need to be bold in what I don't know. At the bottom of the deck, I have Taurus, and it's the subconscious, which is your beliefs, the costs of, and use the most direct way. Energies to meet the challenge of your beliefs, if we read that as a full sentence. Your desires regarding the costs of something, right? So it looks like there's some decisions to make if you're going to go forward with something or not. Cost or risk analysis, if you will. Physically, resulting from the honesty and strength of using the most direct way. I don't know. We'll get into it. We're going to use the Tarot of the Longest Dream to get clarity. Build the spread from there and clarify with the Vintage Tarot. One more shuffle. Thank you. For Sagittarius, please. Judgment. Ace of Cups. 9 of Cups. The 7 of Swords. The Hierophant, that's the spiritual challenges. and the King of Pentacles. Very interesting indeed. The Nine of Pentacles is at the bottom of the deck, the Ace of Swords, the Six of Cups, and the Queen of Cups. Ace of Wands, two aces, three aces. Let's just judgment. Like I said, we're talking about a choice, a spiritual choice. And I don't believe that it's a choice that you are making at the outset. I think it, in turn, looks like you have decisions to make from a judgment call. But the judgment call, I think, is larger than you because it's attached to this Ace of Cups. An Ace of Cups can be love overflowing in your heart, right? You can be so satisfied with the sense of grace and beauty of the self and this life that you're living, and therefore out in reality you recognize the beauty that is within and without. But this judgment stands before the Ace of Cups to say that there's intervention here. Someone has decided, someone holier than you, greater than you, the universe itself, has decided to sound the horn. And what's fair is fair, and what's right is right, and what's just is just. And what's full of love deserves love. And anything thereafter, anything that's coming up short, is not going to be brought into the fold. And that is how I see it. Furthermore, it calls into question then a huge idea for you about the management of your happiness, because this judgment that's occurring outside of you makes you reflect about just how comfortable you are, how cozy you have been, and what it has cost you, resulting from the honesty and strength of, your desires regarding the costs of just how much it has cost you to come to this place of satisfaction, what you have safeguarded, what you have put your efforts into, how much you have protected that which you care about, those that you care about, the things that matter to you, the contemplation that you have, those that matter to you, like that. Um, it's kind of like the way that you have poured yourself into your life and how life is feeding you, if I have not been clear. Sorry. And if we go Ace of Cups to Nine of Cups, we come into completion, which is the Ten of Cups. But this is ever flowing, eternal. So that means that it's like this endless way in which you're always available to find the 10th cup. Sitting pretty, managing your satisfaction in the Nine of Cups, which is your independence. And the 10th cup is just like a fountain there that you can always grab at, pull from, drink from, refill and replenish your soul with. Very interesting. Now, the next three cards, I believe, have to do with a different energy, and that's because at this point there's a pivotal turn. The Seven of Swords is moving towards this side of the reading with their eyes and backstory on this side of the reading. And this person is sitting with snow everywhere in the winter. So they are out in the cold, meaning that there is a way in which this person is not in the comfortable spring-like summer environment of showing skin, of being lazy, of being happy and content, right? This person is out at a distance. It's also a moon card, and we are experiencing a full moon today. I'm recording your reading on the 29th of June. Okay, so sorry, the Seven of Swords is looking at the Hierophant. So this is a moon in Aquarius, which is going to be it's a tricky card because it goes many ways, like Aquarius would often do, right? There is this elevated collective idea that this person thinks that they are moving swords away from others because they know the highest or the best outcome for everyone involved. Okay, but it's the moon, so what they think they know, they don't know, and they have filled in the gaps with erroneous information, and it's usually the distortions and patterns of their own shadow that have made them think that they can fill in those gaps, and also the content that they use to fill in those gaps. So they've been lying to themselves about lying. And often this card is also a signification that that something is being walked away from. So someone can walk away from something without words, right? You can use Seven of Swords, as we often do, as a verb, right? When you just turn your back on something, because there's no diplomacy, there's no conversation that can bring you to understand or get the other person to understand what you're saying. So you just Seven of Swords that you turn your back to it, silently ghosting a situation because you know that nothing can come from conversation. So moving, the Seven of Swords is a strategy card as well, because that's the way that it is read. Now, the Seven in Tarot is always about personal development. So this person looking at the Hierophant and the King of Pentacles, which are both earthly, they are both earthly in their elements, right? Here's the Nine of Pentacles. This card, this is why I pulled the cards immediately, because I didn't understand if you're in the Nine of Cups, then the Nine of Pentacles is here. Does this refer back to you and your independence, or does the Pentacles reflect back to this King? Because this King doesn't feel like your energy. And what I receive is another person, the Queen of Cups. So, if the Seven of Swords is looking back at the Hierophant and the King of Pentacles and moving towards your energy, this is communication with strategy. To leave behind this earthly experience, Taurian, Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo, wants to leave the rigid. That's what this is. This is rigid form. This is being very preoccupied with the formality of something, the archetype of something, the written parts of it, not experiencing the miracle of life, not devotion for like with rapture, but devotion because of teachings and rhetoric and customs. The Hierophant is an organizational structure of a value system. So the Seven of Swords is leaving a value system of being stoic, of being guarded, of being protective, of being a kind of cold. You know, the King of Pentacles, it's not that they're not sensual, it's not that they're not emotional, it's just that they're very rooted. These two energies are the kind of energies that don't think about new and innovative ways to be outside the box. These two energies suggest this person is developing a strategy to communicate to you how they realize they have been inside a box and they haven't been able to get outside the box. That box for them has to do with somehow the Nine of Pentacles. This is a fierce protection, no, sorry, a fierce level of confidence where don't need to they don't need to try. They don't need to try. Things are really working well for them and they don't need to try. And in the same way that I have described the Nine of Cups, here is the Nine of Pentacles, the epitome of what is emotional contentment and fluidity. This is a contentment of resources, a stability of being grounded in one's life, the opportunities and the abundance. And then the attitude that's whatever is with me now will be with me always. And I don't have to pretend, protect, or be preoccupied with thoughts of loss, of separation, or of any doubts that it's not mine. Now, Nine of Pentacles, Ace of Swords, Six of Cups. This is the part where the confidence to speak to the past, Queen of Cups. So the cups would go back to you, babe. So as the Queen of Cups, the energies to meet the challenges of whatever spiritual or mental desires as the Queen of Cups, it's very clear you're able to do this. The physical resulting from the honesty and strength of, yeah. it doesn't matter that we haven't seen fire and this is Aries energy. Here's the Ace of Wands, so it's not far off. There's the Queen of Wands, which is Aries energy right after. Because you're so completely full inside your heart, and here you're so clear inside your mind. I think judgment is having its way, and I think that judgment is having its way in your favor by way of this person. Okay, so I know that is like a huge beginning, but let's look at the Seven of Swords, right? Because it has the Ace of Swords attached to it. And so let's look at what message, not with this deck, thank you so much, of the split, the Three of Swords. Show me, please, the message. What's the Seven of Swords going to say? What's being communicated here? Seven of Swords, please. One more. Seven of Swords. Nine of Swords. I was going to tell you we're going to see the Chariot. Shit, I should have said it. And the Hermit. Coming through, as you can see, is the Four of Pentacles. Right. Four of Pentacles, and here's the Five of Cups. So someone is healing their own sadness about their own regrets, things that they thought about saying but didn't say, things that they did say but they know they shouldn't have, trying to develop a strategy to get their car going. Maybe they're having trouble to, come towards you. This person could be at a distance. As I told you, they're in the cold. They are not in the same environment that you are in. And they are isolated probably from many things beyond you. They're in the blue, in the blues. Yeah, you see, they're in the blues. And they're isolated, and they're thinking about the systems that they use to make choices, right? The judgment is often when we can look at how one choice has birthed every choice we have made for as far as we can follow the idea. And it is at that point that we recognize that no one is coming and we need to save ourselves, because it is this kind of thinking that got us here and will continue to get us here unless we call judgment. And what do we call judgment on? Either the parting of ways and the fragmenting of our own spirit and soul, the many people that we are meant to harmonize with, right? All the voices here, all the personalities that you hold on to, all the pieces of you, every experience that you have had, and whatever you have tried to integrate and maybe failed, but not because you weren't good at it, but because it was fucking hard. And so right here, right now, when judgment shows up, it is having its way in this month, probably with both of you, just very different messages. The judgment is going to show you, hey, this fountain feels really good, right? Take a bath in it. You did this. You belong here. You're hot? Jump in for a splash. Put this on the back of your neck. Do you need a lemonade? Like, there are so many ways in which judgment is going to give you rewards for your efforts, for your sacrifice. And it is sacrifice, because having the courage and the responsibility of freedom is the other part of freedom, right? It's not just hand out the car as you are, on the freeway taking a random spontaneous drive. It is the responsibility that your tire pressure is checked, that your car is in working order, that it's clean, that you have done your laundry so that you can pack a bag easily, that you know where your bags are, that you have friends in your community that can take care of your pets when you take your spontaneous trip, right? These are the inner workings of what freedom really looks like. It's management and great responsibility. And the message that is coming for this person is that there's regret, there's loss, there's rigidity. The Four of Pentacles popped out. There's perspective. There's a loss of perspective, a shady perspective that has made them think that they were holier than thou and that it was their way that was the best way. There was no other way. In fact, if you tried to speak to either of these people, they would have cut you out. They would not have given you a chance. Your ideas were not even worthy of being heard. The door was closed. No one was home. No one would answer. That's what this looks like. That's who you were dealing with, if this is your reading. And what's further insulting about this is that it wasn't just a turned face or a closed door or silence. It was also, because it's the Hierophant and because it's a king, they're presenting this lack of empathy, compassion, and communication as spiritual elevation, maturity. And that's a rub. It's a burn, right? Because it's a lie. Clearly. If they were in such a high elevated position, they would not be in the blue. They wouldn't be showing me, I'm trying to get my car going, trying to get on that train so that I can heal this. That's my strategy anyway, but I'm out in the cold, see? Right. Okay, I didn't get a chance to get a big handle on the message, but I got the inner workings of how the message was created. I did get the Hermit, so I know that they want to heal. And that's all fine and good. And I'm not going to push it because this is not the deck I'm going to use. I'm not going to push it because, yeah, you know. You know what it is. Just going to ask, what next? As these cards just throw themselves at me. Page of Pentacles, Five of Cups, Ten of Swords, the Devil. I don't know if they can learn the lesson. I don't know if they can do it. That doesn't look like a promising lead, but can I get maybe a little bit more? Show me. What's next? For Sagittarius for July. For Sagittarius for July, please. I'm just going to let them pop out. What's next, please, for Sagittarius in July? What do they need to know? Two of Cups. Love, finally on the move. Four of Wands, a relationship, a union, support system. Seven of Cups. There is opportunities. There is options. There is emotional intelligence coming through by way of love. Splitting is Three of Cups. Nine of Pentacles still at the bottom of the deck. That's the confidence. That's the independence that is neither jeopardized or harmed in this union. And I don't know who this Two of Cups is. I don't know what about this Four of Wands speaks to you. If it's a reconciliation, if there's a communication that happens that just stirs your waters in such a way that you are looking at the possibilities of these Seven of Cups. But here's the Three of Cups, which is harmonizing, coming together. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to see what is lingering at the bottom of the deck to read it out. So Nine of Pentacles, Temperance, Eight of Swords, Ten of Pentacles, Five of Pentacles, the Strength, the Lovers. Right. So whomever it is that you're dealing with, I think has a bit of earth in their chart, because this is Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus, Virgo, and another Taurus card, Virgo card. Okay. I do have Leo on the table. This is Gemini, and this is Cancer, another Gemini card. So they could also have some Gemini. That's a repeat. But I don't see enough fire here. Because even with Leo, yeah, okay, that's fire, but It's fixed. And we know that this person needs no help with fixed perspectives. So what does this mean? That the options in this relationship in love have to do with the confidence to transform, to transmute, to alchemize what has been underwater, what has been a burden, what has been toxic, to cleanse it completely. Okay. Part of that is the inability to see the situation clearly and an ability to communicate, the power of the voice. Okay. Also, the Ten of Pentacles, maybe some of the dream that you were building in terms of working together, the lineage that you were hoping to create, the family that you wanted to usher into this world, love for, care for, provide for, enjoy, right? Because you were meant to go from the 9 to the 10 by joining forces, 5 of Pentacles, but then you were cut down in half of that. 5 from 10. There is no family here. There's someone left out in the dark, in the cold. And then the strength. Now, Judgment above, the angel here with the horn, and here's another angel. And we also have Temperance here. So like I said, this is a massive energy from the universe coming through. This is larger than you. Now, what these options may look like, I'm going to get into it. Show me the 7 of Cups, please, for Sagittarius for July as it relates to the 2 of Cups and the 4 of Wands. Now, I just want to bring your attention to that this person is not great at managing their mind to get moving, right? They have paralysis of the mind, and it stops them from consolidating their energy, and then they go into a healing cycle. That looks like it's their pattern on repeat. What is 7 cups to 2 cups? That's 5 cups. That's the sadness, the regret, the card of the past. That is what is missing here. So if they figured out their riddle, it's the fact that they refer back to the past, okay? Past losses, the past shame, the past regret, the past. Show me the 7 of Cups, please. Hanged Man in reverse. That's a lot of time. Justice, fairness, truth, divine order, Knight of Wands. There's some fire. 6 of Pentacles. Back to earth. Again, another Taurus card. This is the moon in Taurus. So this is the moon in Aquarius, the moon in Taurus. Taurus is also a fixed sign. Fixed, fixed, fixed. The 3 fixed signs back to back. This person has hard lines, strong personality. And even with Pisces, mutable here in reverse. So the idea of options turns this person completely upside down. Anyway, I asked what the options were. I got the Hanged Man. So you're offered a fresh perspective over a long period of time about what's fair. And the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands is charged, energized, and hyped up to bring balance into the situation. That doesn't tell me a whole lot. It certainly doesn't bring in the love that this feels like. So you'll have to tell me in the comments, and you'll have to know if this is your story, right? It also is a forward expression of what this month will look like. So this is not for the here and right now as you are viewing this. You'll have to come back, check, leave me a comment. But the thing is that this looks like one energy that you're engaging with, and this looks like a clearance of what you were dealing with. And I don't know. Let's see if we can get intel on that. Are these 2 energies? Can you tell me who's the people associated with the 2 of Cups and the 4 of Wands, please? Who is associated with the 2 of Cups and the 4 of Wands? One more shuffle. 2 of Cups and 4 of Wands. That's the breakthrough. That's the Ace of Swords. Three of Pentacles, the breakthrough of how to work together. Five of Cups. Wow, the breakthrough of how to work together. And this is the Five of Cups, the attachment to the past. So this is marking their this person. And here is the bottom, which is the schizophrenia. This is the Two of Swords, Ace of Cups here. There's the Justice again. So maybe this is a marriage. There's the Three of Cups, which we have seen. Maybe this is a marriage that rekindles its way because we have the Hierophant, the Justice now 2 times. And maybe you've just built too much to go separate ways. And so maybe there is a devotion and a commitment. Maybe the fresh perspective brings you something that shows you how you were also referring back to the past. I don't know, Sagittarius. You'll have to let me know. But it doesn't, when I ask, is this who's involved? It refers back to the past. Someone that you already know. Very interesting. I am going to get you advice from the Vintage Tarot, and then we are going to leave it there. But this refers back again to the spiritual energies to meet the challenge of. This is the challenge of, I don't know, perhaps self-respect, self-worth, value systems of what it means to be seen in connection, in harmony, in a relationship. It refers back to, mentally, your desires regarding what I think is love, grace, contentment. Physically, resulting from the honesty and strength of. I think that has to do with the confidence for expression. Can I have some advice, please, for Sagittarius for the month of July? Please and thank you. There's the dream. You can heal yourself of this. Queen of Wands is peeking out. Take it slowly, one step at a time. And even if healing yourself from this does not include reconciliation, healing is still essential. The Hermit holds the star in his lantern. The star is the guidance for you. So you are moving towards your star. And this person, place, I don't feel like it's an organization. I don't feel like this is work related or a boss or anything like that. It's too close to home. It's too involved. So this person could be family, could be friends, could be intimate, could be a lover, could be a spouse, could be an ex. This person is being guided towards you, and it's slowly happening. With an open heart. Oh my God, 3 nights in a row and then a page. Whew. Well, that looks like a lot of messages. They progressively get more intense. So good luck with that. And there's probably a lot to say, right? Because so much has not been said. So many times people turn their back on the situation, and so much distance is here. So much stress about words. But the breakthrough, Ace of Swords, has come through 2 times, and hopefully there will be a communication of love, of partnership, and of cooperation for what's fair in this new way. So, a big month, one that has to do with someone very special to you. If you've watched all of this video, give me a thumbs up, do it, leave me a comment, subscribe. Ciao. Until the next time I read for you, Sagittarius. See you.